Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Knockout City Community Tournament for a grand whopping prize of $5,000. I am your host and main caster of the night, Skyther, and to my side over here, I have my boy Tyler. Tyler, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I'm excited to see some knockouts. And yeah, I can't wait to call it.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. This is the first community tournament that we've actually put on with the developers of Knockout City. So big thanks to Ubisoft and the Knockout City community for actually like coming together and working with us as we put this tournament together. Um, so I guess we should go ahead and give you guys a little bit of background as we head into our quarterfinals today. 256 teams came into this game, Tyler. 256.
Yeah, it seems almost unimaginable that there's that many competitive teams in one tournament. The one team that does win this will deserve it, but it seems like there will be a couple of teams that also, should deserve to win just on the amount of teams that you have. We're down now to 64 very good teams. And from this point on, you're talking about the best of the best in Knockout City.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but this game has only been out for 2 months, man. So there's still a lot of people figuring out like the technical aspects of this game and what mechanics can be used to break every kind of engagement and gain every kind of upper echelon play within Knockout City.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That there's already this number of teams in one tournament, considering how recently the game came out. But it just goes to show how much excitement is around this game and around this tournament.
Yeah, and I believe um, with this tournament, the excitement is none other than ours. We get to be as excited as we can be, and just to show how excited we are, we actually got a little developer showcase for you guys with what each ball does in this game, so you guys aren't as confused watching this. So we got a little showcase of what the moon ball does. Uh, if you hit somebody with it, it's going to send them high flying up into the air, and it also does boost your jump and speed. We have the sniper ball. As you charge it up, it's going to do one heart of damage, and it is going to come at you super freaking fast. We have the multi ball as well. Three balls that circle around you, and you don't have to pick them up afterwards because you already have the three on you. We saw right at the beginning the bomb ball that came out. If you pick that ball up, it's going to start ticking away, and if you throw it at somebody and like there's contact with them, it does a giant area of effect for one heart on each person having two hearts until they're knocked out. And then I believe that our last ball is my personal favorite, Tyler, the cage ball. Cage up somebody, prevent them from throwing anything. They can roll around in it, and you can actually pick the person up and throw them off the map.
Yeah, the cage ball is a lot of fun. For those couple of reasons that you stated, but I think my personal favorites the bomb ball. Simply because there's a disadvantage to the person that's holding it as well. There's potential for it to go wrong. If you hold it for too long, it can work against you. It can go off in your hands. So I think that really adds some pressure when you're using the bomb ball. That's my personal favorite, but the cage ball is a fun one.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to El Sueño, as we go ahead and look at the scoreboard, they're already down one game to Simple. Simple really proving in their last match against El Sueño the power of the multi ball. Um, and really how the multi ball functions in team fights specifically.
Yeah, and the thing that Symbol's been doing so great and how the multi-ball worked to their advantage is their communication and their passing has been so on point that they've allowed themselves to stay close enough to make those quick passes and charge up, but not close enough for El Sueño to be able to take advantage and trap them in certain situations. They've been doing the trapping on El Sueño, so El Sueño's got to look to find a way not to get in those positions.
Yeah, and I think now as we go into this next game, El Sueño is definitely looking to not be too passive, but also put a little bit more aggression into this match compared to the last one to match what Symbol is putting forth. But we get go ahead and get into this first team fight. El Sueño is all but down to one heart, except Kala, who is getting the stuns on to Symbol, but it looks like Professor's going to go ahead and knock out uh, two players of Symbol and send Symbol back to the other side of the map.
Yeah, Kala got caught in an unfortunate 2-on-1 situation right there because he had both of his hearts. So he's got to watch out for that. But Symbol able to, collect two good knockouts right there, get some passing going, charge up a little bit, and they're gonna stay on the attack. Like you said, it's important for El Sueño to also be aggressive because we saw in the last game those times when they were trying to retreat, it just did not work out. So they've got to press forward as much as they can.
Yeah, and I think El Sueño coming into this next team fight is going to be at an advantage, right? Because Symbol is every member is down to one heart right now, right? El Sueño has the advantage, and the question is, can they really take advantage of this circumstance and prove that they can come out on top and tie this game up? But unfortunately, my prediction with that statement is going to be wrong because Symbol is going to get a knock on El Sueño and tie it at 3-0, but they are going to get another knock, put it into 4. El Sueño answering back with 1, putting Kala on the run. Kala trying to see if he can get the ball spawn, but Goki getting the ball first, knocking at Kala, putting him to 1 heart, and a Symbol player is going to knock Kala out and send Professor and Antuel on the run.
Weird because they both had both of their hearts right there. It seems like they could have tried to take advantage, the numbers advantage right there. But a good job of getting a couple more knockouts in that predicament right there to make this game a little bit closer. Now they've got to find a way to get Symbol down to maybe one heart apiece, so then that they can try and group together some knockouts right here.
Yeah, Larion doing good to keep up the chase on Professor. Gonna get the knock on Professor, trying to get a second one onto Antel, knowing that he's around the corner and that Callie's going to go ahead and run up with him. But Temp sitting around the corner waiting for the pass so he can get it into his friend Goki's hand. Goki going to actually get knocked. Kala going to answer back with yet another insane knock and put them up 4-7 as they go ahead and chase down Goki and try and get revenge on their late teammate.
Yeah, great job right there. Great job of passing a couple of times to Kala, who's able to take advantage. He's been really sharp in this game. Professor's been great as well. Antwell, he's got to try and get his attacks going. But it's just proving to be a little too late for El Sueño as Symbol takes this around again.
Yeah, Goki doing a really good job knowing that he wants to end that game, getting sent up in the air, following down on the member of El Sueño, and guaranteeing that his teammate could get the knockout to secure round 1 for their team. Um, but now it comes down to this round 2, right? Is El Sueño going to answer back and put one on the board, or are they going to falter in their attempts?
Yeah, and even though that game wasn't as close as the previous match was, 10-4 compared to 10-5, I think they had the last one. I like the way that they played in that one more, and I think that's a more sustainable formula for success for them to try and get one of these matches, because the way that they attacked in that game was a lot more um was a lot more purposeful than the previous couple of matches. Their passing was a lot better, and I think their communication really started to pick up, because you could see times where maybe they were down a heart or they were down a player, and they did a good job of retreating, but not retreating too much to where they're out of position to attack. So I think they just got to stay aggressive.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Symbol is going to take advantage of that lack of aggression that El Sueño is not putting forward right now. And it seems like El Sueño is also getting off to a really bad start in the top of this round. They had a player fall off right at the very beginning, and that led to the swift 3-0 from them. They go ahead and lose the second team fight and get put 7-0. They are going to put one up on the board, and unfortunately, I don't think the effort is going to be enough as they come into this last team fight. Anuel going and getting knocked, Professor getting put on the run, as all three members of Symbol chase down Kala just to see if they can put this one to rest as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely not the start you want to see in this must-win game. I mean, it started off with your ball, the cage ball, just wrecking the opponents right there for Symbol. And El Sueno was never really able to recover and gain any momentum in a match that they really needed to win.
And we will see the defeat of El Sueño go down, and unfortunately, they will go ahead and get sent on home because this tournament is styled like a single elimination bracket, and we wish them farewell. They did put up a really valiant effort getting up here, and they came into this looking pretty good. But Symbol proving to be the fan favorites of the community right now with how much they are stomping the competition right now.
Yeah, absolutely stifled El Sueño, who, like you said, looked good coming up into this point of the tournament, but they just were no match for Symbol, who looked like a dominant team, who looked like a complete team. The communication was on point for every match. Their play style never really wavered. Their passing, their technique, it was all on point, all working for them, and it showed as they completely dominated that series.
Yeah, and I think we got to go ahead and shout out the main man on Symbol, Goki. The man was putting in so much work when it came to those team fights, whether it was starting the team fight or chasing down an opponent just so he could figure out where they spawn, right? They didn't do the whole tactic where you throw somebody up in the air, figure out where they are, because this is one of those smaller maps that they were playing on. Um, and by his engagement going into those like early fights, uh, we saw a lot of pressure get alleviated from Symbol because of Goki's aggression and his ability to communicate with this team. Hey, this player's spawning up over here. Hey, uh, I need some help with this fight. We can turn this from a 3v3 into a 3v2 and put them on their back leg.
Yeah, and he completely set the tone for Symbol, and just from the start, the first very game, he was right there in the middle of the action, catching passes, passing to his teammates, communicating. He was right there in the middle of it. He was saying, "Hey, we're not afraid. We're gonna stay right here. We know that they're best. their best attack is no match for our attack, and we're gonna crush them and make them retreat. And when that did happen, they stayed on the attack. They didn't really settle for one moment, and a lot of that credit does need to go to Goki for his mindset and the way that he played in that series. Just an absolute sensational series for him.
Yeah, and we'll see what else Symbol and uh, their team can go ahead and put forward as they go ahead and move on to the semifinals. But that will take place at a later time today. But we are going to go ahead and call it from the desk over here and send it over to our host and analyst to go ahead and tell us all about that setup between El Sueño and Symbol.